Bundles are some of the most effective spending machines in commerce because they change the shape of the decision before you notice the spend expanding. You might enter a store, app, or menu thinking about one thing. One burger, one moisturizer, one software plan, one streaming service, one kitchen item, one snack. Then suddenly the offer becomes a meal, a set, a starter kit, a family pack, a care routine, a premium bundle, or a best value combination. At that moment, the question quietly changes. You are no longer deciding whether to buy one item. You are deciding whether to reject a package that has been framed as smarter than buying one thing alone. That framing is powerful because people hate feeling inefficient. They hate the idea that they left value on the table. So bundles do not only sell more units, they recruit a new fear. The fear of making the less intelligent version of the purchase. The brilliance of a bundle is that it lets the seller talk about economy while increasing the basket. That is not a contradiction. It is the whole point. Bundles redirect attention from absolute spend to relative efficiency. Instead of focusing on the fact that the cart just got larger, the buyer is invited to focus on how much cheaper the set looks compared with buying the pieces separately. That sounds rational, and sometimes it is. But notice what disappeared. The main question is no longer, do I need all of this right now? The main question becomes, if I am getting any of it, is the bundle the smarter move? That is a very different decision. It turns added spend into a sign of competence. It makes the bigger basket feel disciplined instead of impulsive. The more the offer emphasizes savings, the easier it becomes for the buyer to overlook that the seller has successfully expanded the size of the yes. Bundles are not only about discounts. They are also about cognitive relief. Choosing one item can be easy. Choosing the right combination of accessories, sizes, add-ons, side dishes, or plan features can become annoying fast. Bundles step into that annoyance and say, "Let us decide the package for you." That feels helpful. It reduces comparison work. It lowers the number of micro-decisions. It gives the buyer a prearranged story that sounds complete. Complete matters. People love purchases that feel finished. A bundle often promises not just more items, but less uncertainty. You do not have to think about whether you forgot something. You do not have to second-guess fit. You do not have to design the combination yourself. In that sense, bundles sell convenience twice. First, by making the package easy to choose. Then, by making the higher spend feel like the cost of avoiding hassle. Once you stop associating bundling only with fast food combos, you start seeing it all over commerce. Grocery stores do it with multi-packs and family sizes. Restaurants do it with meal upgrades. E-commerce sites do it with frequently bought together strips, starter kits, and accessory packs. Software companies do it with suites, team plans, and premium feature stacks. Telecom firms do it with service bundles. Streaming companies do it with multi-service packages. The format changes, but the logic stays the same. Put related items or services into one frame. Add a value story. Make the combined offer feel easier or smarter than the single item path. That is why bundling survives in both physical and digital spaces. It does not depend on one industry. It depends on a universal tension in buying. People want more certainty than they want more SKUs. A bundle offers certainty and lets the seller charge for it. Many bundles do not win on their own. They win because of what they sit next to. A single item might look stripped down. The biggest package looks excessive. The bundle in the middle gets framed as the sensible compromise. This happens on menus, plan tables, skincare sets, gaming subscriptions, toolkits, and checkout add-on flows. The bundle is often where the seller wants you to land, which means the other options are not only products. They are context. They are there to teach your eye what looks stingy, what looks extravagant, and what looks smart. This is where anchoring and decoy logic strengthen the bundle. Once the larger premium offer exists, the bundle can feel restrained. Once the bare minimum exists, the bundle can feel complete. The exact same price can suddenly feel reasonable because the lineup changed around it. That is why bundled spending is rarely just about need. It is often about position inside a choreographed menu of identities. Bundles do something else that matters a lot. They do not only increase the purchase, they often increase the pace of consumption afterward. More snacks at home can mean more snacking. More streaming services can mean more subscriptions becoming normal. A larger meal combo can reset what feels like a standard lunch. A skincare set can turn one product into a routine. A bulk pack can create the feeling that using more is fine because the marginal unit already feels sunk. This is why bundling can be more powerful than a simple discount on one item. It does not only raise revenue on the spot, it can reshape the baseline of use. Once the larger quantity is in the system, people often adapt around it. The home organizes around the bigger pack. The habit expands around the bundle. The category feels larger than it did before. So the bundle is not just a pricing tactic. It is often a behavior expansion tactic too. Digital bundles can be even more persuasive than physical ones because they often package possibility rather than visible quantity. A software suite, media pack, telecom bundle, or premium membership stack does not always create a pile of stuff. It creates access, features, libraries, services, extra capacity. And access feels hard to price mentally because unused features do not look wasteful in the same way unused fries or extra shampoo do. They feel like options. Options feel intelligent. They feel like preparedness. That is why many digital bundles win, by selling the comfort of not being limited later. The buyer may not need every component today, but the bundle offers the emotional pleasure of having a fuller world available. That fullness is easy to overvalue. It makes the bigger plan feel strategic. It makes the smaller plan feel prematurely restrictive. The bundle becomes a hedge against future annoyance, and people often pay extra to avoid a future version of themselves feeling boxed in. Bundles are powerful, but they are not magic. They stop working when the buyer starts seeing the package as padded instead of helpful. If the extra items feel random, low quality, or unnecessary, the bundle begins to look like a tactic instead of a convenience. If the quantity feels excessive, the package can trigger waste concerns instead of value. If the bundle is too obviously designed to inflate revenue, the buyer may prefer the clean honesty of buying only what they came for. This is especially true in premium categories. Premium buyers often want curation, not clutter. Confidence, not padding. If the bundle makes the brand feel too eager, the offer can quietly damage the product aura. The bundle wins only when the added pieces feel coherent enough to justify the story being told. Once coherence disappears, the value frame cracks. And when the value frame cracks, the larger price suddenly becomes much easier to see clearly. To read a bundle well, you have to recover the question the bundle tried to replace. Before the savings frame, before the value badge, before the combo label, what was the original purchase? What did you actually come to buy? Which parts of the package would you choose independently? Which parts are only attractive because they arrived under one headline? That matters because a bundle can be efficient and still be unnecessary. It can be a good ratio and still be a bad decision. The arithmetic can be real while the demand is inflated. So the key test is not only do the pieces cost more separately. The key test is would I still want this exact set if it were not framed as the smart option? That question restores the missing baseline. It separates true convenience from commercially designed expansion. And once you ask it, many bundles look less like inevitable value and more like a well-packaged invitation to spend beyond your original plan. Bundles make you spend more because they do not argue for more in a blunt way. They make more feel smarter. They shift attention from total, spend a package efficiency. They reduce small decisions and sell relief. They use anchors and decoys to make the middle look wise. They make larger quantities feel normal. They turn extra components into signs of preparedness, completeness, and value. In other words, the bundle expands the purchase while flattering the buyer. That is why it is so effective. The next time you see a combo, multi-pack, starter set, family size, feature suite, or best value badge, pause and separate the stories. One story is about savings. The other story is about size. One story is about convenience. The other is about how much the platform successfully widened the frame of the decision. Once you notice that split, bundles stop feeling like neutral generosity. They start looking like one of the cleanest ways commerce turns additional spending into something that feels disciplined, efficient, and even responsible. That is the trick. The bigger basket gets to wear the costume of the smarter choice.